All right, it says I'm live. Welcome, Cancers, to your monthly reading. This is for May 2020. I'm doing it differently this time around. I'm kind of liking it. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. I have a variety of cards. I may not pull all of these cards. It's really just something that I am just allowing myself to just intuitively go through. So some of these cards may be picked, some of these may not. And also a quick disclaimer, because I forgot to do it for the first two. These readings are not going to resonate with every single person. There's so many different people that, that can be tuning in, so many different types of energies. So if it does not resonate with you, that is fine. I may not be the reader for you. This message just may not be the reader. This message may just not be the message that you need to hear. That is totally fine. I would definitely say, though, meditate with spirit and ask spirit to guide you to the message that is needed for you, or the reader that is needed for you. So I just want to kind of put that out there and let you guys know I understand this is a collective reading. Now, with all that out of the way, I am going to be just kind of giving you guys some insight on what to expect for May 2020, okay? And I said in the first one, Aries, I said in that video that I am really looking forward to the month of May as a collective. I feel like there's just a lot of good energy available for the month of May. So taking that into consideration, I am so excited and look forward to seeing what you guys are kind of going to be tapping into. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, what's going on with Cancers for the month of May? Thank you, 2021. What else for Cancer? Thank you. A lot of wand energy. And then the King of Swords. I'm going to pull one more card, please, for Cancers for the month of May. Thank you. Lots of wand energy. So reading them off, we have the Three of Wands, we have the Four of Cups, we have the Knight of Wands, we have the King of Swords, and then we also have the Two of Wands. So I really want to point out the fact that well, like I said earlier, there's a lot of wand energy, which is so funny because, Cancers, and I'm talking about sun signs, Cancer is a water sign, obviously, but I still see May being very action-packed for you guys. I see you guys really finalizing some decisions. Some of you guys have been on the fence lately about some decisions that need to be made. Some of you guys have been on the fence about whether or not you need to move. Some of you guys have been thinking about like commitments, like, moving in with someone or moving out of some place. Some of you guys have been trying to figure out what to do as far as job placement. Excuse me. Whatever it was that you were kind of on the fence about for the month of April, or maybe even further back, even as early as the beginning of the year, whatever that is, I feel like there is this kind of curiosity that you're going to really try to tackle. I don't want you guys to stifle that. I don't want you guys to overthink that curiosity, because it's like some of you guys are really, excuse me, my voice. Some of you guys are, you're on the fence because you're kind of questioning whether to go into another direction, something that's very unfamiliar. You're questioning yourself as far as whether or not to go into a place that has not been ventured before. It hasn't been tapped yet. And so you're just kind of like, should I do that, or should I just stay with what I know? Should I stick to what I know? And I think that this level of discontentment that you guys are feeling, like it's like, oh, I want something else, but I don't know what else is out there. I'm just going to stay with what I know. I feel like you guys are going to kind of be a little disappointed in that. So some of you guys who are going to be kind of given this opportunity to do something different, do something outside of the norm, month of May, I definitely feel like you guys should take that opportunity, try it out, see what happens. Because like I said, I feel like if you don't, you would be leaning into the area of being kind of unsatisfied. You're always going to be wondering what if. That's what this Four of Cups is kind of telling me. Is like, there's this what if, like, you know, what if I would have taken that, or, you know, what if I would have taken the date, or what if I would have taken that job, or what if I would have moved? Who knows? And I don't want you guys to kind of have these human experiences where you're constantly guessing, or, you know, reflecting back and thinking like, man, I wish I would have, or having any kind of feeling of regret, really. So there's this curiosity where it's like, you know, do I want to take the action? And Knight of Wands is kind of like your yes card. Like, yes, you want to take the action. King of Swords is coming in and saying, definitely plan it out, though. So we're not going to just say, we're not just going to go wild with abandonment and just like move, and your finances are not in order, or you're moving and you have no idea where you're moving to. So you definitely want to kind of plan that out a little bit, have some sense of structure to what it is that you're planning on doing. But as far as the hesitation of whether or not to take that step, I'm definitely seeing that the answer is, you know, yes, take that step. Whatever it is that you've been, you know, kind of, you know, going back and forth with, you know, on the fence about, like, oh, should I do this? Should I not? Take the leap of faith is what I'm hearing for you guys in the month of May 2021. Some of you guys are going to be taking the leap of faith. And the part of that you're missing, for those who are planning on taking that leap of faith, some of you guys who are planning on moving, who are planning on whatever it is that you're kind of planning. Some of you guys are planning on taking a trip too. Just make sure you're planning. Make sure that you have you have sat down, you have thought about where you're going, how much money you need, what, like, you know, what are this, like, especially with what's going on right now with the pandemic, like making sure you understand what the rules are, what the regulations, if anything has changed, understand the culture if some of you guys are traveling on vacation. But I definitely think that there's some planning that you were skipping over, that Spirit is saying you need to go back and plan. Some of you guys who are planning on moving, Spirit is saying go back and double check your living situation. But all in all, it's still a go ahead. It's still a yes card. I mean, a yes reading. It's still saying, you know, definitely go forth. This isn't you don't need to hesitate anymore. You don't need to suppress that side of yourself. You're curious for a reason, and now is the time to go ahead and explore that. So month of May is going to be an exploratory month for you guys. Exploratory, is that a word? And explorative, I'll use that word, an explorative month for you guys. What about in this Abraham Hicks deck, Spirit? What is it? What is there in this deck for Cancers for the month of May? Thank you. It says no one else needs to know this. No one else needs to know this. It is not necessary for even one other person to understand these laws of the universe. For you are the attractor of your experience, just you. Cancers, that's a word for you. I know you like to, you know, be very close with your friends, your family, your loved ones. It's very important for you. And for some of you guys, that validation is important for you. You need, you know, the approval of your mother. You need to you need to know that other people are on board with what you're planning on doing. And maybe that is probably why you haven't actually made the decision, or why you're on the fence, because you feel called to do something, but you have friends and family who are not in agreement with that. And that is very, it's a struggle for you, because you want everyone to be on one accord. But this card is coming in and saying this is not one of those things. Not everyone needs to understand. Not everyone needs to know why. And not everyone needs to be on board, okay? You still have to go with what is authentically being called from you to do. And the funny thing about that is, a lot of times, like, our assignment is not going to be an assignment everyone is on, you know, and a lot of times our assignment is not one that everyone is going to understand. And that's because it's not their assignment, it's yours. So I know that you value your relationships with your friends, your family, and your loved ones, right? But at the same time, you must always value the relationship you have with yourself, and the relationship you have with Source or God or Spirit or whatever it is that you identify as that higher source, that higher being, even if it's just yourself. That has to take precedence, okay? Because if you can't live authentically, you will always be on that fence, and you are going to feel like you have been kind of, you know, watching your life pass you by, and you've been kind of taking advantage of time. And I do not want to see you guys, Cancers, doing that because of what, you know, you are concerned with other people saying or thinking, okay? I'm going to pull this deck out. What's in this deck for Cancers? That's kind of a word to the wise, by the way, that Abraham Hicks card. Not so much predictory, but it's definitely letting you guys know what to not do going into May 2020. And for that, card to come out is saying what you don't want to do going into the month of May is worrying about other people's thoughts and opinions and how they feel about the decisions that you're going to be making. Because if you do that, it will stunt the experiences that you're meant to have here. This card comes out and it says build strength. Interesting. And then if you can see, it's saying build strength and her third eye is open. So it's like, yes, physically strong, mentally strong, but spiritually, which is a whole other beast to tackle. But to be spiritually strong means to be spiritually solid, meaning, your faith is not being wavered. Again, we're going back into, I know I talked about this a little bit with the Geminis about being anchored and being anchored in who you are and being anchored in your faith and what you believe in and what you know to be true and real. And I would say the same thing for you guys, because it's saying building strength. So it's like, you're starting to get to this point. Let me put these cards up because I want to show you guys. No, not that one. Where is it? I want to show you guys this Three of Wands card, because I know if you guys have been watching me for a while and you've caught one of the pick cards that I've sent this in, this card has always symbolized to me the blueprint. And I say that because this card is kind of like the precipice card. It's like you are, think Lion King, right? Simba and Mufasa, and Simba's the little cub, and Mufasa's showing him like, this is all yours, everything the light touches, right? Okay, shout out to my old school Disney heads. So that card and just kind of like looking over your land, to me, this card is the blueprint of saying, like, you're looking over the possibilities, you're looking over the map, you're looking over the blueprint, you're looking at the makeup. And it's really like you haven't made any decision, you haven't done anything yet, you're just kind of taking it all in. And one of the things that we need to remember to do with ourselves is to take us all in. You know what I mean? Like, take a second to really just kind of reflect on who you are in all of your glory, okay? And sometimes when we do that before we make choices, we tend to make a lot more of the right kind of choices when we're doing more of that and less of allowing the influences of other people who are taking us in, because what they may see and perceive from us is not always what's actually happening or what's actually being built in and strengthened inside of us. So this is definitely one of those cards. This Build Your Strength card is definitely one of those cards that I see, and I think back to this Three of Wands, where it's like you really need to learn to get to know yourself on a spiritual level, okay? Know who it is that you are, what it is that you are, what it is that you want, what you don't want, how it is that you want to live your life. What is your truth? You know what I mean? What is your truth? What is your purpose? What is your passion? What do you desire? What do you desire in life? What is it that you want to experience? Like, all of these questions that I'm asking you, you should have some sort of answer. You may not have like a specific, well thought out essay answer to that question, but if any of those questions I just asked, you are saying, I don't know, that is room for you to really kind of explore. And you can't really answer those questions by asking someone else to answer for you. Those are not lifeline questions. You know what I mean? Like, you can't ask someone to answer the question for you. You have to know the answer to those questions yourself. Okay, I hope that makes sense, Cancer. So like I said, May is definitely the month of exploration for you guys. That's definitely kind of the running theme, Cancer. So what's going on in this Minty Oracle deck? What's going on with the, well, hold on, let me pull that out because that just didn't want to go back in, so I'll accept that. I spread joy. I think the more that you begin to take the boundaries off of yourself, not boundaries, no. We don't want to take boundaries. Limiting beliefs. That's what I'll say. That's the word. Limiting beliefs are stunting you. Limiting beliefs are preventing you from continuing on and moving forward. Fear of rejection, fear of disappointment of others, and kind of maybe just a fear of not having anyone at the end of the day, even for some of you guys or some of you Cancers. That is what's keeping you bound. And month of May, I really challenge you to see what it looks like when none of that stuff matters. When you decide, I am going to risk all of that to see what it looks like to really walk in authenticity. I think that is where that joy is going to come from. And the fact that it says, I spread joy, I want you to understand that the vibrations that you carry are also infectious. Okay, so when you are in a joyful and peaceful place, guess what happens to those who are most closest to you? A lot of times what can happen with them? They begin to kind of take on that energy. That's why. And I was just having a conversation with my partner about this, about anger begets anger. So what I mean is, like, anger kind of attracts anger, and anger turns other things into anger. And it's like those emotions, like that's really true. Like, emotions are infectious. And that's why you really want to be careful about like who you are spending time with. Who are you spending your energy with? Because if you are constantly spending your energy with someone who is negative, with someone who is, just really kind of sad and depressive, if you're spending your energy around that, you begin to kind of beget that energy into your life, versus you spending time and energy around someone who is always positive, who is always happy, who is always motivated. And you spend time with people like that all the time, and you start to feel that begin to infiltrate in your own life, even if you don't mean it. So when we say, like, watch the company you keep and birds of a feather, that's not just a saying. That is real life shit. That's really true. Okay. So I really want you guys to remember, I want you guys to remember this when it says I spread joy, and the fact that she's kind of just like uninhibited. This is not a card that says I care what people think. This is a card that says I'm going to do me. And by doing me, I am spreading joy. I am spreading peace and positivity and light. And some of you guys, I know that's very important for you. So I'm just wanting you to understand not to let other people, and sometimes these aren't even actually what's really happening with other people. It's just our fears getting in the way. Because some of your family is perfectly fine with you doing whatever it is, living in your truth, whatever it is that you want to decide to do. Your family is actually okay with it, but you wouldn't know because you never ventured into actually doing it and seeing what will happen. So don't allow fear to lead you. Okay. What's in this deck for the Cancers? Oh, this is the only thing I don't like about this deck, is when they flip, I can't tell. Where is it? One flip, and I don't know where it went because these cards have front and back. Hold on, I'll do it again. Spirit, can the card flip out of the deck, please? Because I won't be able to find it. What is the card that is for the Cancers? Thank you. And it went flying out. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. All right, it went flying on my floor. All right, so quite a few. I'm going to take the first one on the top. It says, I am allowed to say no. Look at that. I am allowed to say no. Cancers, I am allowed to say no. And the question is, how have I taken on more than I can handle in the past? What can I do to remind myself? It's a little dark. Hold on. What can I do to remind myself to not overfill my cup in the future? That's good. That's a good question to ask yourself. As I said, this reading has kind of been about reminding you guys to walk in your own truth, meaning sometimes you're going to do some things that other people are not going to like. Friends and family are not going to really understand. That's something that is, a potential price to pay, yes, but on the other end, how much is your authenticity worth? You know what I mean? So when this card comes out and is saying I'm allowed to say no, it's telling me some of you guys really need to remember that it is okay to say no. If you really don't want to do something, if it doesn't resonate with you, say no. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to have your back. You have to protect yourself. Okay? I hope that resonates with you guys. If it does, Ashe, I'm really grateful for that, because like I said, I don't take for granted these readings because they're not always going to resonate with everyone. These are collective. So if it does resonate, I'm grateful for that. If you like this type of content, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one, but I will see you guys, Cancer, in my next video. Okay? Bye.